What up everyone, it's your boy X-Man87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is the X-Men Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 Colossus Build-A-Figure Series Colossus Action Figure Review. Before I get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Alright, I pretty much went over his character bio during my AOA Shadowcat review. If you haven't done so already, check it out whenever you can. But just to go over a few things that maybe weren't said is that him and his brother Mikhail Rasputin were Russia's greatest heroes, but when Apocalypse arrived, Mikhail would join Apocalypse and become one of his personal horsemen, while Colossus would join Magneto's X-Men. Colossus started losing it after all of his students died in a mission which he refused to save, as this version of Colossus was a violent, hasty, and unconcerned leader, but his main occupation was to rescue his sister Illyana at the Seattle core monitored by Sugarman. Later, he finally hit his breaking point when trying to save his sister. Believing she was going to die, he lost control when trying to save her and ran through his X-Men teammates, injuring some in the process and accidentally trampling his wife Shadowcat to death. Walmart Black Friday style. Way to go, Colossus. To avoid further injuries or potential deaths to the team, Gambit kills Colossus with a fatal blow to his spine. He finally reverts back into his human form after years of not being able to do so due to taking severe damage at some point in the past. He was able to say goodbye to his sister. Just look at this colossal monstrosity here. Oh my god, I've been wanting a AOA Colossus Baf before a Wave 2 was ever even announced, and he's just AOA perfection here. Just look at this guy, he's just this is a bath right here. And you know shit is real in the Age of Apocalypse when a dude with armored skin has to wear armor on top of his armor. I got nothing but great things to say about this figure. So with that said, let's take a closer look at Colossus. As we take a close look at the head sculpt, just look at the masterpiece of this head sculpt, man. Oh my god, it looks freaking amazing. Look at the wrinkles on the bandana. The sculpting came out absolutely amazing. And like I said before, AOA perfection here. Look at the expression on that. Wow. Just the grinning teeth, the black around the teeth. This sculpting is absolutely superb. I like the way the eyes came out too. And you can see that the bandana is actually like a separate piece that they put on there. So the eyes underneath are sculpted along with the face, so I think that is absolutely amazing. You can see the nose sculpted underneath there. I even like the ears tucked in underneath the bandana. I like little details like that, so that is pretty cool. And again, you get the nice sculpted wrinkles along and across the bandana. You got the wrinkles with the expression. I like the black around the eyes, man. So dope. And I like how dynamic the bandana ends look right here. And the cool thing is you don't have to keep them like that. So right here they do rotate. So if you want to put them down like that so it doesn't look like the wind is always blowing on them, you can do that as well. You know, you can switch it up however you like. So say if you want them crashing down on somebody, you can have it pointed up, and yeah, that looks so good. Taking a look at the rest of the body, it's a brand new mold from scratch, and I think the only thing that's reused are the hands, but I'll get to that in a bit. But the sculpting line work on the armor is absolutely amazing. Gotta give Hasbro props here, as it must be very challenging to sculpt the lines on top of these curvy muscles, and these are brand new arms as we see right there. And I like how the line work is horizontal on the arms and it's kind of vertical on the torso with some slants in there. Like, look at the collarbone. Wow. Yeah, look at all that detail, even on the neck right there. And wow, it's just all around. I'm just blown away. Look at the back. Holy crap. This guy's a freaking unit. And you got these yellow suspenders. They kind of drip down from the bottom there and they go around. Same thing on the back. Which will play an important factor. I'll show you that later on, so stay tuned. And you got the X logo right there in the middle of the belt. This is a separate piece, obviously, but you can detach it. So, you know, you could just plug that back in. Although this can get in the way of posing. So if you bend the torso, you see that? It just kind of like pops out. So when I'm posing, I try to make sure that, like, okay, I get them in the pose that I want first. get the crunch in and then plug in the belt, so that way it's not interfering as I'm posing them along. So it's manageable, do that, and it won't be annoying. I do like the shoulder pad. This thing came out really cool. You got the shoulder strap with some nice sculpted line work there, a nice design. And yeah, this you get that AOA fashion style again, with the studded balls right there, and they're painted nicely in a metallic silver. But that's not all. You do get some texturing there, so it looks like it was, worn out in battle. So that's pretty cool. And you get some more on the side right there, as you can see. A little subtle, and then it's more noticeable right here on this end. So that came out really, really nice. Another separate piece won't get in the way of articulation whatsoever. One thing I do love is that they made his organic steel skin a lot darker, and in the AOA, it's definitely like that. It's a lot darker. It's not as shiny as the Earth 616 Colossus. For his organic steel in AOA, again, he was permanently like this after taking damage, so it would just be more believable that it would be darker, as the steel would rust over time and such. So it wouldn't have made sense for them to apply this bright silver metallic paint onto this. Again, very accurate to the comic. The sculpting of the gauntlets came out really cool. Again, you get more of that battle-worn texture, so you get the scratches right there. Inside, more sculpting. It looks like, some padded gear inside with wrinkles. Nicely sculpted again. And you get these straps at the end. So that's cool. And you get this elbow guard right here. Nicely sculpted. And it's double jointed. So it's so cool. Look at that. For a Baf, that's not bad. It gets good range. I will say that my biggest gripe about this figure is that the armored parts, like the gauntlets, boots, and the shoulder pads, are not done in a metallic red deco. I think that would have been a much needed touch for this figure. But everything else, like the trunks and the bandana, obviously that represents fabric, so that doesn't need a metallic deco. Although some artists in the books, they like to make the fabric stuff look shiny. Realistically though, I wouldn't want the trunks and the bandana metallic, but the armored bits definitely. And he's got the two closed fists, and we've seen these hands before on the AOA Apocalypse recently, so yeah, same sculpt. Only difference is that the Colossus peg is much, much thicker, and the Apocalypse one is a lot thinner. Actually, now that I'm taking a second look at it, I think they might be different, because if you look at the vertical lines going down from the knuckles, there's more space in between them. That's crazy. They just look so identical. Like, it's the same pattern and everything. I just think that this is upscaled a little bit more. Taking a look at the lower body, you get nice sculpted wrinkles on the trunks. You even got the seam right there at the end that follows all around. You get no butt cheeks this time. The old Colossus has butt cheeks, but yeah, they just decided not to give him butt cheeks here. Then you get more of that armored sculpting on his legs. These came out great. Love the muscles and double jointed knees. You got the knee pads right here, the shin guards, all armored up. Again, nice sculpts, nice straps right there. Just wish it was metallic on this front part, and some of the straps right here. Wish those were metallic too. Obviously the padding inside, that's fabric. That could stay as is, but it would have been nice to get the metallic touch there. And then the shoes, these feet really balance well, especially when you put them in running poses. And you get some very tiny peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Now for accessories, he does come with two interchangeable hands. So first up are the closed fists. Then lastly, he comes with a pair of open hands, and these two are also a new sculpt. Now for this next segment, Wildchild isn't the only one that can ride on someone in this wave. You can have Shadowcat ride Colossus. Pause. So yeah, like I mentioned before with the suspenders, the special thing you could do with them is have Shadowcat hang on to them. And as you can see right here, look at this, man. This just adds so much more play factor and definitely enhances the overall playability. Look at this. Wow. So now I know why Hasbro gave her this hand. It's not just a scratching hand, even though it looks like that. But I think its main reason is to hold on to Colossus like this. And I did tuck her feet under the suspenders where they drip right there. So She's not like Wild Child where she's like super articulate with the double jointed knees and stuff. So I just had to do something like this so she could stay sturdy. Look at that. We get a Hidden Rider's wave in this AOA series. Man, Hasbro really killed it with this second wave of AOA. Now to go over articulation for AOA Colossus. His head moves that far up and it moves that far down. Left, right, and got some tilting. You know, as I pointed out before, the bandana does rotate. His arms move that far up so you could get a straight T-pose. They move down. They rotate all around. You got the shoulder swivel and bicep swivel. You got the double jointed elbows that bend in about 90 degrees, I say. So I like the way that the elbow pad is sculpted as the elbow joint. I think that's some good engineering there, and it doesn't ruin the aesthetics either. So it gives it a clean look. You got the wrist swivel and the wrist hinge. The ab crunch moves that far forward and that far back, so you do get some good movement with this guy. And the waist swivels, the legs move that far apart. He kicks that far up and that far, well, not much back. So that's all you're gonna get with that. And then his legs rock around. You got the thigh swivel, double jointed knees, but no heel to the butt. I mean, even if it did, he has no butt cheeks, so you weren't going to get heel to the butt regardless. And you got the ankles that move up that far, down that low, and then you got the all-around ankle rockers. Now for some comparisons, here is our AOA Colossus next to the Earth 616 Colossus. Scaling is off here as Earth 616 is 6'6" when depowered and 7'5" when armored. The Earth 295 AOA Colossus was 6'6", being stuck permanently armored in his natural depowered height. But for some reason, the artist drew Earth 295 way bigger than 616. I swear, the scaling with not just these figures, but in the comics too, can drive you nuts sometimes. Here is Colossus next to another AOA Build-A-Figure, Sugarman. Here he is next to the AOA Apocalypse and the Holocaust Build-A-Figure. Here he is next to Juggernaut. I'm waiting for the day that Hasbro gives us a Colossus Juggernaut, because that was just a total badass look. Here he is next to his sister, Ileana Rasputin, aka Magic. Here he is next to his wife, Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat. Lastly, alongside Shadowcat, here he is lined up with the rest of his AOA wave mates. My ranking video of this wave will be next. And now to wrap things up, my final rating is a 10 out of 10. Total awesomeness. It is hands down one of this year's best. I enjoyed putting him in various poses. Even with the bandana piece being able to rotate around, little things like that add so much more life into many poses you're trying to capture. The sculpting is top of the line from head to toe. The head sculpt alone is enough to sell anyone, but the bodywork too is stellar. I always appreciate when a Baf gets additional accessories, so giving him fist and open hands will offer you all the punches and grappling maneuvers you want to achieve. The only thing I would have added besides metallic paint on the armored gear would be an alternate head accessory with a stoic or stern look. His best accessory is honestly Shadowcat. It raises her fun factor a ton, as well as adding high replay value to this Colossus, so it goes hand in hand and I'm loving it. Words can't express how much I love this figure. I had a blast taking pictures of him, such a badass figure. I think I can see this being a holy grail item in the near future. Expect to see this guy in my top 10 this year. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of this AOA Colossus Baf? Is there a version of Colossus you'd like to see next? You know I'd love to see an astonishing X-Men version, but also a depowered Colossus would be cool, new, and different. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my review. Please follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. Link is in the description below. Get your Marvel Legends X-Men Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 Colossus Build-A-Figure series at Big Bad Toy Store. Link is in the description below. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. Enjoy the pics at the end of the video. See you on the next review. Peace, peace.